Benefactor underwriting for this broadcast has been provided by a grant from Republic Bank. The power of red is back. Major underwriting support for this broadcast has been provided by grants from New York Community Bank, M&T Bank, Perfect Building Maintenance, Customers Bank, Collins Building Services, Marks Paneth. Additional underwriting support has been provided by grants from AmTrust Title, Bank of America, Capital One Bank, Douglaston Development Levine Builders, Flushing Bank, Friedman LLP, Handro Properties LLC, Handler Real Estate Organization, Investors Bank, James D. Kuhn Real Estate Institute at Syracuse University, John Catsimatidis Red Apple Group, New Banks, Meridian Capital Group, Ocean First Bank, RPW Group, TD Bank, the One Stop Property Group, and these friends. All I know is I got 3 crystal apples over here, and I have no idea what's going on in the real estate business. I just bring people together. So what's really out there? What's happening in the residential, the industrial, the office, the grocery-anchored shopping centers? What's really happening? I don't know the answer. So with the help of my executive producer, Andrea, we're assembled today to discuss the market and where they see the market in the future. My guests today include Bess Friedman, who is the CEO of Brown Harris Stevens. On my left side over here, Peter Castellano III, because I want to make sure we had the third, who is the founder and the CEO of Cactus Asset Management. And last but not least, the best executive producer I could find over there, who's in charge of investments, who's a partner at Himmel Marigraf Partners, Andrea Himmel. So since you assembled everybody, you're running the show today. I'm just sitting here and talking.
Thank you.
Tell us what's going on and tell us what you do these days.
Sure. So I'm a chief investment officer and principal at Himmel and Marigraf Properties, which owns a few million square feet of office buildings in Manhattan and industrial warehouses in the boroughs. And we're vertically integrated. We're long-term owners, and we focus on value-add acquisitions. Right now, we're excited about New York City office, believe it or not, and industrial.
But when we talk about New York City office, we have A, B, C, and then D.
Yeah, C and D can exit to the left, but I think A and B are here to stay. You always need a value option to Class A properties, although there has been a flight to quality within Class A assets from buildings where there may be low ceilings and limited windows to a real Class A, true, improved property. We're seeing that bifurcation, but our portfolio, which is B buildings, we actually leased half of our portfolio, so last year alone.
But let's tell the truth. You may have leased the portfolio, but you may have given good concessions and opportunities.
Net effective rents are down. Yeah, you're right. Net effective rents are down from a decade ago when they were $60 to today they're $36 on average for the city.
Peter, the third.
Yes.
Tell us about what you're doing today in the business.
Sure. I've used my experience as running a large grocery chain in New York to identify and purchase grocery-anchored or to be transitioned to grocery-anchored properties, shopping centers, urban multi-level shopping centers, which I see as a future of New York. The grocery business is typically, recession-resistant. It's always been. And
You mean the 15-minute Go Puff and the others who are going out of business?
I got to tell you,
the
e-commerce wave, I would say 90% of what's perceived as online grocery business still somehow goes through brick and mortar, such as Instacart picking it up or curbside pickup. I view these, Go Puffs and whatnot, and I'm a Go Puff customer when I need something right away. But I don't think that's a viable business model. It's not profitable. You have somewhat of an Uber effect where they're fighting for market share, and they'll be a leader, but I don't see that as a profitable model. Happy to be their landlord, but yeah, if we focus on grocery anchored, like I said, it's extremely resilient and it's proven pandemic resistant.
But so you have to tell people that you were in the grocery business. The family's been in the
Correct.
grocery business
Correct.
for many years.
Yes, I was the CEO of Western Beef Supermarkets for over a decade until transitioning to Cactus Asset Management, which is a purely real estate focused business. So I see a ton of potential with grocers from their performance during COVID. They're sitting on a ton of cash. They want to expand, and we're assisting them finding locations, building them out, and helping them expand.
If you're not in the market for industrial, I'm more than happy to take off your hands your 11-acre site
Good
on
site.
Metropolitan.
We should definitely.
More than happy.
Wait a second. Do you want me to put a bidding war in between and I'll become the broker on the deal? Okay.
No.
Last but not least, okay, the reformed attorney over here, okay, who's
Oy.
a CEO of Brown Harris Stevens, and if you read the propaganda, founded many, many years ago, like
1873.
I know. I read the bios
Yes.
over there. So tell us what's going on. This is the queen of residential real estate. You're the guru who's going to tell us what's going on. What's happening?
Well, residential real estate, 2021 was the best year ever for us. And I think there was a lot of pent-up demand because of the pandemic and all the things that were going on. So, residential is doing incredibly well. I mean, the problem right now is one of supply. People want to buy new homes. Millennials are the biggest buyers right now. The problem is that there's a shrinking supply chain, and New York City is back. I mean, it's really back. During the pandemic, we all saw people left. They went to Florida, they went to Connecticut, Palm Beach, different places, wherever, and now people have returned to the great city of New York. And we have a new mayor, we have the new governor, we have people working together, and I think there's a good synergy here, Michael. It's a place to be.
So we have two. We have a residential rental market
Yep.
and the residential sale market. Are they both doing great?
They're both doing incredibly well. The rental market is at a level that they haven't seen in more than a decade. I mean, it's hard. There's no concessions from landlords. The prices have gone up. People are glad that they renegotiated during the pandemic, and now they have a 2-year lease or a 3-year lease, and they don't have to pay higher prices. The rental market is insane right now, and the sale market is doing very well, super strong, even luxury, high-end. Who knew? 41 contracts signed over $4 million just last week alone. And so business is really busy, but that doesn't mean that there isn't cause for concern and there's challenges going on. There could be a new variant. There's this crazy war that's going on right now in Ukraine, the invasion of Ukraine, which is really heartbreaking and hard to watch on so many levels, and that's going to have an effect. We see the inflation.
Right, the inflation.
Gas prices are, going up. Even you can look around and you see prices are just higher for everything.
A couple of months ago, I did a restaurant show, and I had 3 owner chefs, and we were saying one thing is specifically, okay, the prices have gone up by 20%, and the size of the food portion has gone down by 20%. And they didn't
There's a
disagree.
compounding effect.
It is
Okay,
the truth.
this is what's going on.
No wonder I'm still hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My lunch was
look,
small.
So where are the opportunities, young lady?
The position we are in as owners of a Class B portfolio of office buildings in Manhattan, the headlines are terrible. Everyone thinks, it's office is shorter term leases, net effective rents are down because you're amortizing your capex and leasing commissions and TI over a shorter period of time. And the work from home effect. So that creates an opportunity. We like to zig when others zag. We're contrarian, and so I think, being together, there's nothing like this energy. And so people do need some level of office space, and therefore owners who may own properties that are probably a little undermanaged, maybe they don't have the capital to put into a building that's 70% empty or 50% empty with rollover coming due, and they don't want to look at those leasing costs or TIs, we're happy to step in any position. We partner with them, or if it's a debt deal, we can do that. We're very flexible and creative, but we're certainly interested in New York City office.
So, yes.
I was just going to say, don't you think that people are returning to the office? I mean, we're seeing the city is busier, restaurants are fuller, and I think there's sort of this feeling that if you work from home, you know, the local supermarket and restaurant will go out of business. People need to be in their neighborhoods and they need to be buying and doing that kind of stuff. Otherwise, it's hard for the economy to function. So we are seeing people have come back, and I think offices.
But not everybody's coming back.
Yeah.
I spoke to someone recently who's financial expert at Alliance Bernstein. I said, are the people coming back to your office, the administrative people, the next level? He said, no, we gave them a 35% raise. They don't want to come back 5 days a week.
I think that's a generational thing.
I wouldn't, you know, we're a privately held company, but I require people to come into the office. You can't build a culture from home on a Zoom. You need to be face to face. We need to break bread. We need to talk. This is how you build things and grow. I mean, it's.
That's why they go to the grocery anchor shopping.
Well,
store.
exactly, because the supermarkets are local. People want to go where they know people, where they
Right.
trust people. That's why local supermarkets are also important.
I take my cue from, as crazy as it sounds, my barber. My barber's in Manhattan, and you tend to get your hair cut kind of where you work as a man, right? You know, I don't know, my wife maybe not doesn't.
We're different.
Yeah.
We'll travel. We'll go to another
My
state
point is,
for our hair.
it's kind of
No,
a lunch break.
I go to that little Russian barber, you know,
Yep.
with 3 different locations.
And I hear my barber complain, it's coming back, but it's not there yet with the offices. And I
Yeah.
think that would be great if people do fully resume and come back to the offices. I think that would be great for everyone.
I'll add 2 points to that. The first is we're among WeWork's larger landlords in New York City, and their occupancy in one of our properties, which is a full building over 200,000 square feet, is over 60%.
Okay.
And this is at a time when occupancy numbers in New York City were hovering around 30%.
Have they reduced their charges to people to be in the building?
That I don't know. I don't want to misspeak, but
What do you think?
my guess is they're probably slightly lower. But 40% of U.S. workers are freelancers, and that's a rising number. So if you think about the economy of the gig economy, people working out of smaller offices, I think there will be more demand and return to flexible space. But we're also seeing large tenants looking to lock in long-term leases. We signed 3 100,000 square foot leases last year for 15 years each.
And Google, Disney, Microsoft, all these big companies have taken huge space. I
Right.
mean, it depends on also what you do. If you're a coder, you can probably stay at home and work. But we are in the people business where it requires, I think, showing up, at least
And
most
speaking
of
of
the time.
coders, you have to think about what segments of the population are working from home, because they don't all consume the same square footage per capita. So a software engineer only needs 150 square feet per person, whereas
Unless they're heavy.
government tenants, maybe 151 square feet, and government tenants tend to occupy 450 square feet per person. So for every one software engineer that works from home, you need 3 more people from government to reduce their space.
So with regard to the work from home, do you see people buying larger apartments and looking for larger space to rent?
Yeah, what we saw, a lot of people we're seeing are buying things that have outdoor space, that allows for a home office, that allows for them to walk their kids to school if they want, or closer to their temple or their whatever, those sorts of things. They want convenience. And so we saw a lot of that last year, and I think you'll continue to see that. And so I think people started to think of housing, I think, in a different way, and people felt committed and still continue to feel committed to the home buying process. And I think that will continue as long as there is ample supply and the prices aren't so fakakta, so to speak. If the prices are crazy, I mean, that's going to be the challenge, is that the prices are going up.
I have a story about a friend of mine in the real estate business who was fortunate, sold his business, still in the real estate business. And he's telling me that he bought a large apartment, and his business is in Long Island City, or what he's currently doing, and he bought an apartment on 63rd Street and 3rd Avenue. I said, did you need the subway underneath your building? I said, that's not the amenity that I would think that you would be buying a $12 million or a $15 million apartment next to the penthouse or something like that.
If you look at the data, though, on where people moved during the pandemic, the preponderance of folks actually moved within the tri-state area. So they moved from Manhattan to Long Island or New Jersey or Connecticut. I lost a lot of friends to Greenwich.
Yeah.
But so I think that data is supportive of the strength of transit-oriented markets. So Penn Station, Grand Central, I think because the number one reason people
Penn
aren't back to
Station
the
and Grand
office.
Central, I will agree with you 100%. Okay, the only problem is when you walk out of Penn Station, the neighborhood is not doing well. Port Authority.
Long-term, it'll
Port
be,
Authority.
No. I mean,
These are challenges for the
these
city.
are major challenges
Well, the
which
crime-
have an effect on your business and have an effect on yours.
But it has an effect, Michael, on the vitality of New York City as a whole. We have to.
If we don't have safety,
People need to.
It's paramount to everything we do, which
Safety-
is why Mayor Adams got elected, because he made that his number one priority. Because you have to, you have to clean up the streets. It has to be safe. You have to be able to take the subway every day. You have to be able to walk around and feel like it's safe. And we're not there yet. There's a lot of work that needs to be done.
people going to Madison Square Garden to see a game or a concert are a little scared at night walking out
That's-
of Madison
yeah.
Square Garden.
Yes, still, it exists today.
I mean, you
People
see
need
it
to
all
feel
the
safe.
time. I can't tell. Lately, every cab I get, and I walk a lot, but once in a while I have to hop in a cab. And when I do, the cab drivers are fighting with each other. There's a lot of nervous, angry energy out there today. And
Besides the cab drivers, the bicycles. The bicycles.
Oy.
and,
you know how many times that you almost have a collision?
Wait a
They're
second.
weaving
Wait-
in and out.
Wait, so you have the bicycles and then you have the outdoor seating.
Yeah,
terrible.
yeah,
No.
it's crazy.
So besides grocery anchored, what else? You have the site that this young lady would like to buy, the industrial
Yeah.
site. But what are you seeing as your opportunities? Because you've been around.
Yeah, sure.
Even though you're young, but you've
I'm
been
young.
involved
I
20 years.
opportunities, believe it or not, we made some investments during COVID in Eastern Long Island, in East Hampton, Montauk, Bridgehampton, and just some areas that we feel are really, really secure. The exodus of people who relocated. I mean, we did very well with the properties out there. And I think you have to, I'm not really a journalist. A jack of all trade is a master of none. So I try and really focus in what we know, and not to grocery anchored is what I know. So although we know good property values, Fifth Avenue is Fifth Avenue, East Hampton is East Hampton, right? You can't really go wrong there. But I try and stay in my lane and stick to what I know.
What about Riverhead? When you're talking about,
I don't know enough about Riverhead. It's to me, it's in between here and Eastern Long Island. Even though it's Eastern Long Island, it's in between.
Riverhead is the home of the Tanger outlet, say, okay?
I went to
Not-
school with Schuster Tanger.
Okay, so you know.
It's also a
Who's,
public company.
who's building today? Can people build because the cost of the acquisition?
Yeah, I mean,
and
the
the
owners-
supply chain problem of getting things.
There is building today. I mean, you can see all over the city, there's all these new projects and buildings go up. And the owners of my company, Arthur and Will Zeckendorf, just got a great site downtown on Clarkson. And they're going to build an incredible, it'll be like 15 CPW downtown. And they just took over the Hayworth on 86th and Lex, and they're going to sell that. People are building because they know that the city is here to stay. It has challenges that we know, the legislative challenges.
Will the higher interest rates? I mean, a year ago, interest rates for residential was 2.5%. Now you're at 4%.
Yeah.
Do you think that the combination of that inflation will have an effect on the for sale market?
I think it will have an impact, but I don't think it'll be so detrimental that people don't move forward, because look at the history of things. I mean, interest rates used to be much higher, substantially higher. But I think that the fact that the Fed raised rates a little bit will quell, hopefully, some of the inflation that's going on. And we just have to kind of wait and see. We'll see what happens with.
Yeah, but many landlords can't afford, if they're rent stabilized apartments. Okay, maybe there's no commissions that you're paying the broker or anything, but they can't afford living with the taxes.
No, I know. That's
Okay.
been part of the challenge. The tax, listen, something that is vital is the legislation in Albany needs to be responsible. We have to have, responsible legislation that takes into account the economics of things and not the politics. It's always been about these politicians trying to tweet things out to get popular, opinions stirred up and all that. But that has really hurt New York City. That's why we've had this sort of separation and no moderates voice in the city for a decade. It's been far left and far right, And that is not where most people reside. Most people are in the middle. You know, they're reasonable in what they want. They don't like extreme things. And so I'm hoping that the city will get to more of a moderate place. We don't want to drive out the rich because the rich help. They give people jobs. They spend money.
That's right.
We need the rich people in New York City by saying, you know, tax the rich. Or when AOC went to the Met Ball, which was so ridiculous, and wore that dress that said tax the rich, she looked like a fool. That was just dumb.
You and your family have been in emerging neighborhoods.
Yes.
Where do you look as the next, all of you,
Yeah.
but I'm initially directing it to you. What do you see as the next emerging neighborhood? Is it East Harlem? Okay, I have mixed emotions on East Harlem. Okay, it really hasn't developed enough.
Not yet.
Okay, not
Yeah.
yet.
You know,
okay?
we're public transportation. So first of all, you guys touched earlier, safety. People need to feel safe, right? And a lot of times in emerging, people don't feel safe in Fifth Avenue in Manhattan today, right? Or, you know, Madison Square Garden or whatever. So people need to feel safe in order for the neighborhoods to emerge, right? But then what I've noticed in, let's say, in the Bronx, we have a store on Morris Avenue, Marciana, they call it. I forget some of the fancy terms because we're usually there when it's not fancy. But where public transportation and proximity to Manhattan, like by one train stop or something. I mean, you can pretty much draw a
Yeah.
map and do that. And, you know, those areas have the biggest potential. So one train stop to Manhattan, like what happened with Long Island City, let's say a decade
Look
ago.
at what's going to happen in the Bronx. We have 4 new train stops coming to the Bronx that will be 15 to 20 minutes from Penn Station.
That will change the neighborhood.
That will
That's
change
crazy.
Hunts Point, Park Chester, Van Nest, where we have an 8.5-acre site that's getting rezoned for 2 million square feet of resi.
You're going to go into the residential market? You're going to be dealing with best? Okay. What is this? Oh,
You know, as a board
God.
member, I'd say
the
as
apples are.
your apples. As a board member of Habitat for Humanity, I would love for it to be more profitable to do affordable housing.
Yes.
But it's actually, unfortunately, because of the way capital is flying right now, it's worth more as industrial. And that's a shame because it sits on a new train stop, literally, that the MTA and Metro North are constructing on, on our site. So something needs to change, I think, on a higher level strategically to encourage more affordable housing because we do have an issue with that as well.
Somebody called me up, a law firm, the other day and said I should do a show on improvements taking place, the expansion of the Second Avenue subway to 125th Street. I said, I won't be alive when it's finished, okay? I mean, so...
Mike, you work out 5 to 7 times a week.
I
You're
know,
gonna
but
you're going to be there.
the emerging neighborhoods and other areas, you got to look around, okay? For example, you talk about the Bronx. One of the best neighborhoods in the Bronx is Riverdale, but the transportation is terrible.
Yeah, that's hard, it's
Okay,
hard to
and,
get
and
to.
that's
Yeah.
and that's the problem.
You used to take the 9 train. It doesn't exist anymore.
Now, what about? I know we're talking about New York City.
Yep.
What about New Jersey? Any thoughts?
Yeah, we have.
I mean, besides the Garden State.
No, but we have offices in Montclair and Hoboken. And, that, again, is a market that has done incredibly well, easy to get to. People, love living there. Montclair is so beautiful. I don't know if you've ever been there,
Yes.
but it has a lot to offer. So I think New Jersey.
Morristown is beautiful.
Morristown there's Ridgewood, there's so many great parts of New Jersey. And then you have the shore, the Jersey Shore, which a lot of people love. So I love New Jersey. We have great offices there.
Are you allowed to go?
Are you allowed?
Am I? We just bought 2 buildings in southern Florida, actually. One in West Palm Beach and one in
West Palm
Boca.
West Palm is
blowing up.
it's
yeah,
blowing
well,
up.
the university is opening its business school right in West Palm Beach to feed the financial firms that have moved or
That's
relocated
right.
or expanded to
Yep.
West Palm. But my point is that we are flexible and can look anywhere, but we tend to focus on New York City because we have our property managers visiting the sites every day. But
What about you're talking about Montauk? You're talking about Amagansett, other places. What about Long Island in general, Nassau and Suffolk County? Any thoughts?
It's a slightly different market, for commercial real estate than it is in the boroughs, right? Property taxes are significantly higher, so that's always the population density isn't there. So it attracts. We own some properties, and it's a different type of a customer out there. You need to draw from a slightly larger radius than, let's say, in the Bronx. In the
Yeah.
Bronx, you could have 1 million people in a tiny little radius. So
would you say, though, that industrial in the western part of Long Island Western Long Island makes sense as a relocation
it
site?
It's a peninsula, right? We
Yeah.
geographically, and any of you have been on the LIE stuck in traffic. I mean, it is. You know, my concern from a simple approach, right? The further out Long Island you go, you know, last mile local delivery. There's a restriction the Department of Transportation has on how long a truck driver can be in a truck for the day. So you push it a little
Wow.
bit. Yeah, you know, when you go too far into Long Island, when you get into like Hop Hog, for example, right?
Yeah.
It's anything past Hicksville. If your core business is delivering in New York City in the 5 boroughs,
Doesn't make
it would
sense, yeah.
concern me
I'd
because
be interested,
you could be
yeah.
stuck for 2 hours on the LIE. That's, you know, that's half your day, right?
That's
2 hours
it,
each way.
just trying to get there.
And then, you know, the getting around the boroughs making deliveries is
That's-
slow enough as it is. So
Yeah.
We also like industrial in Connecticut. I mean, whenever I order something from Amazon, I look at the return address, and it's consistently from even though
So
next
that's
day
your market
Kentucky.
research. Okay, you never.
That's interesting.
Yeah, no, so everything's from Kentucky, and it's next day. So I think to myself, if it only needs to be in Kentucky to be next day, then Connecticut makes sense to deliver it to New York City because
agree.
2 hours, right?
That's right.
So
we've looked at relocating.
it's undersupplied and a tight market, but we're, you know, again, we're eager to expand.
You know, to put this group together for 27 minutes is it's a shanda, as Bess would say. Okay, okay? So
You've
what-
adopted my language.
I have
I'm
adopted
loving
your
it.
language, okay? The native tongue, as
The
they would
native
say.
tongue.
Okay, so I promise to bring this group together later on in the season. I'd like to thank the queen of residential real estate, Bess, Peter, and needless to say, a producer's producer, Andrea, and I'll see you next week.
Thank you so much. So nice to
Thank you,
sit
Mike.
here with you guys.
This is great. Good energy.